this is like the 3.0 version of that Awakened Warrior Goku. That's why I said that in my review. Pretty much, they just.
You said it made it look like poop. How dare you? You compared it to Keisha's favorite figure, the Super Saiyan Dookie. How dare you?
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm not
what?
saying it.
It feels like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku.
I want to win more and more and more.
Oh yeah, it's the champ. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Plastic Power Podcast. This is Starblast Studios alongside Daredevil 19 and Champ Animation. Today, guys, we're going to be ranking the top 10 best figures of 2023. We're also going to be going through some honorable mentions and also going through the worst figures of 2023. And joining us today for this list, we have the man, Super Mariozilla, the man behind the roaring of this episode right here. What's going on, man?
What is up, possible members of my collector core or members of Starblast channel or Daredevil 19's channel? I am Super Mariozilla, or you could call me Vinny, and I am excited because I can't wait to talk about the worst figures and the best figures of this year.
Absolutely.
Worst and the best.
Honestly, we were just discussing just a second ago as we were figuring out forming the list that this should have been like a live stream. But hey, you know what? We got it.
It was almost like 2 hours.
Bro, that should have been the entire that honestly should have been the entire episode.
That's what I'm saying. We should just record it. That show was funny.
That was almost like it's really almost like a tier list.
Maybe for the 50th episode, we'll live stream something.
It's like
right?
we got so many amazing figures this year. Like some of them just like could not make the list, but they were genuinely memorable. And some of the stuff, and so like going through the honorable mentions and such, I didn't even list it on there, but like because of the release of Dragon Ball Superhero, we got a lot of figures. Like Beast Gohan was an amazing figure, but did not end up making the top 10 list. And then the same with Orange Piccolo. He's a great figure, but also did not make the list. For various reasons. There were just so many lines with so many good figures that a lot of figures that would probably have been the top contenders of the list last year, they just weren't able to fit. This has just been a very blessed and amazing year for figures, I think. And
let me just add something before you continue. We tried to go by a collector's perspective with this list, but we only did it with at least figures that one of us at least have, so we could at least give proper opinions about it. So if you don't see something on it, it's because one of us don't have it. Like SH Figure Arts Obito, none of us got it, but a lot of people love that figure. This is just an example. So we tried our best to make it a proper list and just look at it as collectors looking at reviews, or how reviewers not just one reviewer go by multiple what everybody thought of a specific figure. So we tried to do that.
And it's like Figuarts as of late has made like so many different lines of figures, and there's just so many other things. It's like we're not like I'm sure that there's an objective thing, but this is just gonna be based on the figures that we have experience with, at least one of us, and in order to just really make like a formula. So if the figures are not on here, if you disagree, please do not feel like this list is like an established thing. This is just our opinions based off of us, like, as collectors, but also while trying to be fair to as many people as we can. We can't please everyone.
Yeah, we weren't being biased. That's what we're trying to say. We weren't being biased.
Yes, we're trying to be biased, and trust me, it was very difficult. But like, you're gonna end up seeing a Frieza figure on this list, and it's Sean chasing after Luffy.
Yeah, you gotta take care of Luffy. But anyway, we'll kind of stall time a little bit while he does that. But
we can go over the honorable mentions real quick.
We can go through the honorable.
Talk about Darth Vader, Battle Black Series Battle Damage Darth Vader. I know you have that, champ.
Yes. Honestly, that's from the Kenobi series, and I actually like it a lot. I know were like 3 Darth Vaders that came out this year for a Black series. They have the regular version of Darth Vader from the Kenobi show, and then they have the Return of the Jedi where they unmask. But I really like the battle damage because, one, the head sculpt of Anakin Hayden Christensen looks freaking fantastic. I love the battle damage on it. I don't think we've ever seen like a 6-inch, 7-inch battle damage Darth Vader before, and it just looks really cool. I think it's got all the tears in the capes. The chest box is damaged. I'm looking at it right now, but I'm not grabbing it because it's far back there. But I just love the detailing into this figure, and it was like well, the pricing was like around $25, I believe. For your typical Black Series figure. So it's really great. Honestly, you could even use it as like if you want to switch out parts with another Darth Vader and have it all battle damage if he's like going up against like Kenobi, Luke, or even the new Star Killer that's out. So it's just a great figure to have in your collection, and for price wise, it's really good. I think it's one of the best Black Series Vaders that we have.
Absolutely, Vinny.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Vinny, so like another figure on the honorable mentions list, we have the SH Monster Arts Mecha King Gojira.
Ghidorah.
Ghidorah. Why do I keep saying Gojira? I keep misreading it from the way that Sean spelled it on the list.
This is
Ghidorah. King Ghidorah. Yes.
This is the SH Monster Arts Mecha King Ghidorah Shinjuku Decisive Battle version. It is a repaint of the original Mecha King Ghidorah figure that came out way back in I believe it was 2015, and this is pretty much the same thing, except he comes with battle damaged wing accessories. The original figure did not come with that. This figure also does lack the Dorats, but honestly you don't really need the Dorats, and to be honest, the Dorats on the last figure sucked. So yeah, it's all good. And he also comes with the machine accessories, again, the machine hand accessories once more to grapple Godzilla, so that's always a good thing. And I prefer this silver over the original Mecha King Ghidorah's silver. It's more of a gunmetal silver, and I think it looks way nicer.
I'm about to bring that up, that silver, because it looks like metal,
Yeah, it looks like actual mechanized metal. The figure itself just looks gorgeous, like the sculpt, the paint work. My only issue with the paint is that the toes, you can't see it well on my camera right now, but the toes, the feet are a little bit discolored from the legs and the rest of the body, but that's not really a big deal. You can barely notice it. So, and the figure itself, I think still costs around $315. To be fair, though, I do not think that was a bad price for this figure, considering how much the aftermarket prices for the last figure is going for. So it pretty much works out. You get a great figure that's pretty much close to matching what it's worth on that price. And overall, even though it's not figure of the year material, I still want to acknowledge it for being a pretty good Mecha King Ghidorah figure.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I didn't even know there was a Mecha King Ghidorah, so I need to watch more of Godzilla.
That's in the old, well, not that old, but I know when he first
Mecha King Ghidorah originated from 1991.
Yeah, so over 30 years.
So next up on the honorable mentions, go ahead, champ.
So I want to mention the Marvel Legends 2-pack of the animated series from Spider-Man, the Doc Ock and Aunt May. Aunt May can just be thrown out the window, but the Doc Ock is pretty great.
I thought you were going to say Aunt May deserved this spot.
No, but I absolutely love this Doc Ock. My only gripe with it is that the arms, they can't go fully all the way up because of the shoulder pads are hindering that articulation. But actually,
they do have their bendy wire.
But yeah, the robot arms or the metal arms, they do have bendy wire in them, which is funny how the other Marvel Legends Doc Ock did not have that. So
yeah,
and honestly, it's just for $50, it ain't too bad. You get an additional figure with it. He does come with alternate hands, so that's pretty cool. That sculpted, I mean, that really does look like the animated series Doc Ock. I mean, this is my favorite.
That's a fantastic sculptor for Doc Ock.
Yeah, and honestly, classical. And you can. I mean, I will say the bendy was like they're a little bit stiff here and there, but it's better than what they came out like a couple of years ago with the comic version. So honestly,
that one they dropped static the ball tentacles, big time. Yeah, everybody was getting the custom ones and all that.
Yeah, so honestly, a great figure. Sorry if you see my cat over there.
No, I love it.
That's all good.
It makes this podcast more entertaining if people are watching the video version, just seeing that cat just like dawdling around in the background.
Yeah, we got a cat, we got a dog there, and it's a cat and dog podcast. Right. But yeah, honestly, 10 out of 10 recommend.
Absolutely. For this next figure, I'm going to switch it over to Sean. I believe you have this figure. You want to talk about the...
Yes, this is... I'm big with Demon Slayer, and I collect every Buzzmod figure, and I feel like one of the figures that released, even though he released in December of last year, December figures I transition into the next year because you don't have it long enough to distinguish if it deserves to be on the list. But out of all the figures they've released this year, Tengen Uzui is definitely the best figure that they've made from 2023 or in December of 2022. Just all around fun figure, a ton of accessories. They give you so many posing and display options with the figure. It's just it's super fun and definitely deserves an honorable mention at least somewhere in the honorable mentions. If it's not going to hit top 10, then definitely honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But the next one here, we're going to let Starblast go over.
Okay, thank you. So the next figure in our honorable mentions list, and none of these figures that we've gone over are in any particular order. It's just figures that we think that deserve to be mentioned at the very least. And one of the figures
Yes.
in this list is going to be Beast, the Figure Arts Beast Gohan. I like Beast Gohan a lot more, over time, and I think that he's a fantastic figure. I think that the hair looks, it definitely, people are gonna be complaining about this form like all the time. People are gonna hate it or love it. I think that overall it's a very good figure. It comes with so many different accessories, like the special beam cannon hand, the alternate face that you have for the other Gohan. Just really, I think that, again, it's just because of the fact that where this figure stands, what I think holds it back is just the articulation and such, and where that is in the just with the special beam cannon hand, also like the rubber shirt piece that he has. You're not able to really get enough articulation for him actually be able to hold on his arm and use the special beam cannon effect. And it's like when you're including a special beam cannon accessory, or Makanko Sapo for the Japanese people, I know what it's called. Or hey, Light of Death for the manga viewers, I know there's so many different names for this dang attack.
Yeah,
like
what the hell?
I just feel like it's inherently. I just feel like it's lacking a little bit, and because of the high standard that I think of a lot of these figures have really set throughout the list, it's just one of the reasons why he just ended up not really making the list. And I absolutely love Beast Gohan. Again, if it's one of those things that if we're going to be ranking our own personal favorites, then none of us would be able to agree. So that's why we got to make this list into an objective thing. And yeah, Beast Gohan's great, one of my personal favorites, but not really a top 10 contender for this year in my personal opinion. But with that being said, I think we'll move over back to Sean, who's going to go over NECA right now.
Yeah, so NECA at least deserves an honorable mention on this list because they make some beautiful figures. The only thing they lack in is articulation. But when it comes to a Ninja Turtle, it's hard to get specific points of articulation down because they have freaking turtle shells. But out of all their figures this year, this is hands down, I feel like their best. This or the NECA Feral Predator. But this last Ronin Raphael, they just killed it. They literally killed it with the paint and sculpt detail. Like I said, the only thing lacking was the articulation. You get some really good accessories, and it's was just executed really well. And they do keep getting better and better. But NECA is definitely one of their strong points is detail, and you could see on this figure right here, and it has a beautiful matte finish all throughout it. So yeah, that definitely deserves an honorable mention. Oh,
I like how bulky he is. He really
Absolutely.
looks like he
Yeah,
looks
like-
huge, and he's got
like
all
he
that
doesn't-
gear on him.
yeah,
pretty
because he
dope
has
design.
the harness on too. Plus, he has the turtle shell on the front and back, then the harness with the pockets. So yeah, he's a little he's got girth in the torso, but it's still a really, really good figure. So I will let Starblast. We're gonna hop back to you for this one.
Okay, so the next one on honorable mentions is the SH Figure Arts Chainsaw Man, and I absolutely love Chainsaw Man. I pulled the figure out for this one. It's a really good figure, and I remember in particular when this figure went up for pre-order, it was ultimately a battle between Figure Arts and Figma, and my gosh, this definitely is a better figure than how Figma came out, but Figma definitely did win it in terms of accessories, and that's really the only reason why this figure did not end up being this. I think it's subjectively better than Figma, but because of the fact that it's really lacking on those integral accessories, I think, with Denji and whatnot, and it really makes it to where the posability that you can really get with this figure is limited. You're just gonna mostly get him into battle damage, battle poses, which is what you'd want to do with your Chainsaw Man figure anyways. But the thing about it is that because of those lack of faces and expressions and really being able to have him without the chainsaws, it just leaves a lack of expression, I think, and just limitations overall. I think it is an absolutely fantastic figure for what it is. This is going to get you into all the cool dynamic like like Chainsaw Man poses that you want. But again, just like the standard for the figures of this year has just been set up to an all-time high that he just ends up not being able to make the list, and that is really unfortunate. If you're, but I mean, actually, no, that's not really unfortunate. That is fortunate because of just how many amazing figures that we've gotten this year.
And he is the best Chainsaw Man figure, I think, that has released.
Absolutely.
That's my opinion,
At the very least, until Makima or the actual Denji figure comes out.
Well,
too.
I mean, actual Chainsaw Man, because you have Anime Heroes, Figma, SH Figure Arts.
Oh yeah, more. That
but,
no, absolutely.
I think this last one we all have. I don't know if Vinny does. So the last honorable mention, and obvious reason why he didn't make the top 10 list is the SH Figure Arts time skip Luffy. And the reason why he didn't make the list is because of the knee joints, which they fixed with the upcoming figures. But it's still a really good figure and definitely deserves to be on the honorable mentions. The price tag's great. Yeah, you could have came with more accessories, but the price definitely would have been higher. But I do like what they've been doing with the $35 price tag for the main characters that they've been making lately, like Tanjiro and their Demon Slayer line is going to be the same price. I don't know if either of you guys have anything to add with this, but...
Well, he does. Yeah, he does come with a great amount of accessories, even if it don't include the figure DLCs, the add-ons that's coming out later. But like, honestly, it has a lot of play facts to it, and it has a wide range of expressions that you would want for a Luffy figure for $35. I call that a steal, and hopefully the East Blue one has the same amount of expressions and same price value.
Yeah, but there is one figure on this list that definitely does benefit from that $35 price point a lot more than the SH Figure Arts Luffy. But I actually, while you guys were talking, I did realize there's a couple more figures that I want to add in to the honorable mentions. And again, this is one of those, and I can't believe I forgot to put this into honorable mentions after we removed it from the list. But SH Figure Arts Turles. This is this is such a fantastic figure. It has all the facial expressions that you'll want for Turles. He has the crossed arms. He comes with the cape. He comes with the hand holding onto the Tree of Might. I personally would have liked that to have been its own, separate accessory to hold onto the fruit of the Tree of Might. But really, it still works. And then also at the end, you also get like a kill driver type of blast accessory thing. And now it's just like the more I go over this, I'm like thinking, why did this figure not make the list? And it's just like I look at the list again, I'm just like, well, I kind of see why. Just because again, there's such a high standard here, and some people are gonna agree and some people are gonna disagree. But the main reasons why he did not end up making the list is because of two reasons. Number one, he is a premium Bandai exclusive, and the second reason is because of the knee joints. I feel like the knee joints really do have a problem with that mismatch of coloration of the skin tone, and that is actually gonna be something that is gonna be involved with still one of the figures on the list. But there's just so much because of the fact that he ends up being P Bandai. Now that I think about it, number 10 on the list is also premium Bandai. Maybe this was a bad idea.
But it's number 10. But it's number 10 though. It's not that. It's not.
Yes.
But
one other thing to note about. One other thing to note about Turles is not only the knee joints are discolored, but the elbow joints are discolored as well. So it's it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were having trouble with the armor pads, the shoulder pads. A lot of people were having trouble with that.
And one other thing too
Go ahead.
One other thing too that I wish, sorry for cutting you off, but that they would have made is that, and I know he never took off his scouter in the movie, but give us an alternate ear so we can put the scouter back on, so we can take the scouter off. I would have liked to have that look of Turles without the scouter, just because of cool posing options available right there. I mean, they did it with Bardock, do it with Turles too. Come on.
Yeah.
And anyways,
I was just gonna say his articulation wasn't like one of the best Dragon Ball figure arts articulation either, but it's still a really nice Turles figure, and So now, since we did honorable mentions, we're going to jump.
I have one more for honorable mentions. But I did this. I added. Listen, I added this in for Champ. Champ, you got to talk about this. Champ, just talk about this figure, all right? Okay.
Okay, listen, I would have put this on the best, top 10 best figures, but I don't want to be biased. I don't want, because this would have gone number one. I had to fight.
That would have been your favorite list.
This would have been number one, baby. This would have been number one, but But this is definitely a top mention. I've since I started being on this podcast, I talked about how I've always wanted a GT Goku. Favorite my favorite design of Goku as a kid. Go check out my YouTube channel. I have a whole unboxing review, my first review on that channel. So go check it out. I'll go more into depth about it and stuff like that. But yeah, honestly, I love the Goku. The only reason I did not put it on there, besides these guys bullying me and saying not to do it, was because the orange just felt a little bit loose, and also 5K Toys. Why'd you sell out of these things so fast?
The other thing too about it, it's a like they could have made this into a 3.0, but they didn't.
Yeah,
they didn't make it into a 3.0.
Yeah.
That is a massive downside.
But it's not but yeah, you should.
I am somewhat happy though that they did they left it as a 2.0, because that's the thing about the 3.0 is you can't really do any interchangeable head swaps.
Yeah,
I think it could have used 3.0 knees, but leaving the 2.0 technology in there, it still kind of works out. So I kind of like that it's 2.0, but also see why it's still some part of me wishes it was 3.0. It's a confliction thing right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for honorable mentions. There's a bunch of figures that definitely deserve a lot of noteworthy praise, but that's all we're gonna go over. I mean, Kong Studios, for example, released a bunch of figures like the Super Saiyan 3 Gokus, the Super Saiyan 5 Gokus, the Tablos figures. There's so much that was released, but again, we cannot talk about everything just on this list.
Yes.
So without any further ado, I know everyone's waiting. Let's go ahead and get into the top 10 best figures of 2023. Okay. Now, starting off first.
Yeah. You started.
Okay. Starting off first with number 10, we have the SH Figuarts Gammas, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Why are these figures ahead of Turles? Starblast, are you out of your damn mind? Okay, listen. Here's the thing.
He might be.
But... I know that these are not beloved characters like how Turles is. No, in no way, shape, or form do these these characters compare to the love that people have for Turles. But my gosh, they really made these figures way better than they needed to be. The amount of articulation that you can get away with both of these Gammas is just fantastic. Now, I put them both here because if you were to just get one or the other, they're still going to be very good in terms of articulation. I would just say that the Gamma 1 would be maybe slightly better than Gamma 2, just because he has a little bit more, facial expressions and accessories, I think, overall for the figure. But really, it's they're so close neck and neck that you might as well just have them as one thing in their own rank. And that's really the only reason why. He's just the articulation's fantastic, the accessories are great. You don't have any of the problems and such that Figuarts has recently been having with Vietnam with its glossy plastic. Well, some of them are glossy, but they're not really but it works in the areas that it needs to be because they're mechanical characters and such. And yeah, that's
they're overall good figures.
They're overall
they definitely deserved at least the 10th spot on this list.
Most people got these figures just for the sake of trying to get to build all of Gohan's forms and such. But really, I feel they're good figures inherently, just as they are without those accessories. It's just the fact that no one really cares about the Gammas as much. So that's the reason why I feel we went over and they ended up being at the number 10 spot.
At number 9.
Number 9.
I should let Champ do.
Number 9, the Mafex Scarlet Spider. Honestly, thanks to Sean Dado for recommending me the Mafex line. But also, oh my god, Mafex, fix your freaking joints. Oh my god. The reason this ain't number 1, number 5 is because the reason it's at number 9 is because while I love this figure, it comes with a lot of accessories. It comes with a lot of hands, magnetic hands, threeping hands, wall crawling hands, fists. It comes with 3, 4 different, I think 5, 6. I don't remember how many webs.
Nice
it comes
chunk.
with a lot of
Maybe.
web accessories, and it comes with a stand and comes with two variant masks with the original Scarlet Spider's mask. And my cat is meowing like crazy, so forgive me if you hear that in the background. Jesus. I'm going to get rid of him in a second, but let me just finish what I'm about to say. The reason it's at number 9 is because when I got the figure, the tights were so so tight that they squeaked when you moved them. Yes, I'm calling back to one of Keisha's videos with the first form cell. They were so that tight. They squeaked so loud. They squeaked.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good.
And when I try to change the hands, you have to be so delicate with them, otherwise they break. And guess what happened to mine? They broke.
You need these. You need this in your life, unfortunately. Like, this will definitely help out when it comes to squeaky joints
And
like
the fact
tight,
that you
tight
need
joints.
something like that is the reason why this figure's at number 9.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely agree with you right there. Vinny, you're up next. Number 8 on this list.
The Marvel Legends Target exclusive comic book version Black Widow. Now, this figure comes with a lot of accessories. That's definitely one of the highlights. It comes with enough accessories to feel like a deluxe figure, even though it's not one of the Marvel Legends deluxe figures. It's a standard figure. And to me, that's great because you get bang for your buck. And the articulation for the female Marvel Legends is great because there's an ab crunch, there's double jointed elbows. She comes with the whole 9 yards, and she comes with blast effects for her wrist gauntlets, her guns. She has a lot of fun factor with her as well that you don't normally get with female Marvel Legends figures. And simply put, the ab crunch makes a world of a difference to really get her in those really agile style poses that you can't get out of other female figures that really need posability like that. Like example is Spider-Woman. That's the first thing that came out on the top of my head. So I believe Marvel Legends Black Widow deserves a spot on this list simply because it's definitely the best female Marvel Legends we have gotten in the Marvel Legends line so far.
And there's another very special Marvel Legends figure here on this list that we will get into later. Absolutely, because Marvel Legends has done some really good things this year, but also some really shitty releases this year. But we'll get it.
I'll do the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Sean, you take over.
All right, so number 7 on the list is a figure pretty much all of us got, but this figure has really been making rounds in the figure community. Champ's holding it up right now, and that is the demoniacal fit 3.0 Goku. And finally, someone gave us an SH Figure Arts like figure with a 3.0 body for a base form Goku, which who knows when Tamashii Nations is going to do it. And he's DJing. And they really did a really nice job with it. One of my favorite parts is the hair sculpt because they pretty much took the Imagination Works type hair sculpt and shrunk it down into this 6-inch scale form, which makes the figure even better. So it's not just on an updated 3.0 body. It has a really nice sculpt to his base form hair. The face is also fantastic. And you do get some very nice articulation. Pretty basic accessories like faces and hands, but you get a ton of them, and it's just definitely deserves a spot on the list. And it's crazy to think a third-party company has made number 7 on a top 10 best figures of 2023 list.
This figure is very special to me as well, just because of the fact that, and again, it wasn't an intended thing, but the fact that you can take the faces and interchange them with the superhero Gohan, it just adds more layers to that overall figure. And Champ's gonna show you how that works right now. Look at that! Look, that looks absolutely fantastic. And one other thing that it can do, and I wish my camera quality was a little bit better in capture. Oh, you know what? That's good enough. That's good enough. It definitely look at how good that looks. Like, it definitely functions right there enough for like a Buu Saga Gohan. If they end up making like another figure, if you can actually mod this with and get like a new peg on there, you end up getting with a really good Buu Saga Gohan and such when he's in his base form, and it looks great. I really like what this figure provides for like a bunch of other figures in terms of customization, in terms of other stuff. I know that some people are very critical about how the faces look for Goku, but really it's just like when you compare it to the other Gokus, it's really hard not to put this one close to like some of the top best faces of base form Goku of all time. It really holds up that well. And it's just because of how Imagination Works, I think, really did the faces as they were taking them and adding them in to this Goku. It's really good.
Yeah. And
not only that, but sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to add one thing.
How dare you?
But you can also switch the heads with another Goku figure that we'll mention later in this list. So there's also that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and let's hope we get the goddamn future Gohan from them this year. Sorry.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, so number 6 on this list.
Doing this one.
This one's okay. This one, I'm actually, I have been trying to fight with these guys to get higher, but it's understandable why it ended up not being there.
Get much higher, so high.
This is gonna be this.
Anyway.
This is where I feel like it's like we kind of get into like. This is where I feel like we kind of get into like much more questionable areas of the list, and this is where it really like the differences were major. We're talking about like SH Figure Arts second form Frieza, ranking number 2 on this list. I love this figure. I feel like it has an amazing anatomy. It has really good articulation, and I know that not as many people are critical of anatomy, but it just look at Cooler in like Champ's background. It just works so freaking well. I think this feels like another version. This feels like another like Cooler figure, but in the form of second form Frieza, and you would get more accessories with it. You get you like the faceplates, the Dragon Ball, the alternate feet, and because of how big this figure is, the musculature, it's like the articulation just stands out a whole lot more. Like when you get into it, I mean, really the only flaw in terms of articulation is he just can't do the full splits. And then the other slight issue is that on my copy, these are like a little bit loose, but otherwise I really love this figure. I feel like it should be higher, but I understand why it's not. Everyone agreed that this is where it's at, and I'm definitely content with it being number 6 again, because considering it's just like the standard for all these figures is just like they're so good this year. This is a great figure, and the fact that it's number 6 right now should speak volumes as to how good the figures are that are coming up in this list.
Ooh, because we are getting into our top 5 now, and you know who's doing this one.
Absolutely.
Well, we do. You guys do.
All right, so for those who love Spider-Man as much as I do, so Marvel Legends Green Goblin from No Way Home. Honestly, if you're looking for a Green Goblin, you're looking for like a Norman Osborn, looking for a William Dafoe Green Goblin to put on your shelf, but you don't want to spend over $160 for the SH Figure Arts version. With a mustache, with a chalky milk mustache. That's what he got. But I'm not going to grab it, but it's all the way on the shelf. But I highly suggest you collectors, if you love the Sam Raimi Green Goblin, and if you love his design No Way Home, the Marvel Legends is the way to go. Not only do you get a smiling, creepy William Dafoe head, but you also get the Green Goblin helmet. Something that the SH Figure Arts did not have, nor did they have a smiling face. They just had a just standard looking bored as hell face.
Boo.
I mean, yes, I understand the accessories. You don't get any alternate hands, and you only get one pumpkin bomb, but $50 and you get all that, and plus you can take the hood off. I've seen people take off the purple cloth too, so they can even make it look more like the Sam Raimi. Yeah, you can even take the pouch off. With a little bit of warm water and maybe with hair iron, you can take it off. But it's honestly,
or beat the shit out of it.
No.
Hair dryer,
hair dryer. Sorry, not a hair iron, hair dryer. Sorry, but think of it this way: there's like so many ways you can customize this Green Goblin for $50, and surprisingly, it's like on sale in some stores like for $30 or something like that. So that's even more of a steal for such a great figure. They could have a little bit more better articulation, especially near the ankles, because it's kind of hard to pose them with the glider. But honestly, I rank it as number 5 on this list. One of the best figures that come out of the No Way Home wave. As much I can say for
and
the
even
other
out of
ones.
Marvel Legends.
Yeah, even Marvel Legends. I don't think I've ever seen even that glider is so detailed. It even's got the little green fumes and the engines and stuff like that. It just looks really good.
Oh, nice. Yeah, just that Green Goblin mass head sculpt is one hell of a cherry on top of that. And think about it. Even if you buy it at retail price, you're saving $110 or $100 at least, comparing it to the Figure Arts one. Yeah, the Figure Arts one has the shiny armor, but even Super Mariozilla says it's a horrible figure in general. And if you're spending close to 200 frickin' bucks for something like that, and then you have the Marvel Legends one, not just with a better facial expression, but you get the freaking Green Goblin helmet or mask with it too. So you could have that OG style Green Goblin as the figure if you want, or you could have the psychotic, smirking, smiling face. Yeah, if I had to choose, I would definitely pick that over the SH Figure Arts one because I don't want that. Drinking chocolate milk mustache.
As somebody who owns the Figure Arts, I can confirm, yeah, that's not pretty looking.
Yeah. And it's like, what the hell were they thinking? But number 4, we are gonna head over to Starblast for this one.
Yeah, and I was gonna Mario. Hold on, Mario. Do you have this figure or no? On number
No,
4?
I do not.
Okay, then I got you. Okay. So I just want to have you a little bit more involved.
1.
All right. So number 4 on this list, we have SH Figure Arts Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. This is one of the best figures I think of this year, and the reason why it is just because like Sukuna is just a really cool villain overall in the show, and it's like the figure is just absolutely great at really capturing those maniacal facial expressions. The articulation.
I have it.
Okay, here you go, Sean.
We should do that, and I pull the figure out.
That would have been great.
We'll do it next time.
So basically just the articulation overall is very, very good. It's slightly limited in the torso, but the amount that you can get over here and like really all of like the menacing poses, all of the battle ready poses with the alternate hands, the faces, and everything like that, and even the fact that this is a figure which the head sculpt you can swap this figure out with the Yuji figure. There's a lot of playability with this and other figures that I think this figure affords, and it's just like even without all of that extra playability, just the amount of range of motion and the anatomy overall on this figure just looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, the musculature is great. I mean, you don't really have a lot of shading on this figure, and that's really the one small downside to it is that you really can't see the muscles. How much was he again? But he was $70. I think I might have got him for 60 or something. But like I think he went for $70. And
I think I just paid 60 for mine. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's still a good price for a brand new sculpt and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely a huge fan of this of this figure, and it definitely I think deserves the spot on number 4 on this list. So so as for number 3, it's gonna go right back over to Sean because I think he's the only person that has this figure.
Yeah, so this one's we made a combination of 2 figures, and you do have one of them, so we'll both kind of do it. I'll do the first one, you do the second one. So number 3, we have 2 figures, both from the same line, SH Figure Arts Naruto line, and one of them is Orochimaru. Now, I know a lot of people liked Obito, but none of us got that, so we didn't want to throw it on the list, but Orochimaru is such a well-executed, engineered figure from top to bottom, accessories, articulation, detail. They just absolutely destroyed it. They're straight up murdering it with this line, and he has very similar engineering to Kakashi, which is the other figure we're putting on with it. They're very similar and identical in a way by the way they were both built, articulation-wise and everything. Like I said, engineered. And Orochimaru, I feel like he has a little more accessories than Kakashi. I was a bit disappointed because Kakashi didn't have a lightning blade or Chidori, but you can use the one that Sasuke has with him. But I feel like he should have had his own. But still, I feel like they're both pretty much equal. Orochimaru just has so many posing and display options, and I could say the same thing about Kakashi. You want to continue on with Kakashi. Yeah.
Really? I think this is only like a personal thing that I have with my Kakashi, but one of the things that I found is that it's very difficult, I think, to interchange the hands on Kakashi, and the ball peg on the wrist joints is very small. So I feel like I'm gonna end up having. So I'm a little bit nervous when interchanging the hands because I don't want to have it face like a Scarlet Spider type of issue that Champ did. But like overall, it is still a fantastic figure. And
Orochimaru doesn't have that issue with the hands because you asked me when we were going through the list, and he has it's a little soft, rubbery kind of the plastic for the hands too, but it's Much easier swapping his hands compared to Kakashi.
And as far as I know, I'm the only one that had the problem and such when it came to interchanging the hands on Kakashi. So I'm just gonna write that off as like a personal thing with the figure. But if you guys have that same concern with Kakashi interchanging the hands, please let us know in the comment section down below. I know that a lot of people are gonna be talking about this this figure list in general and displaying their opinions. I absolutely would love to hear more about what you guys' personal list is, because there's such a large array of stuff. Like, we didn't even get Bleach on this list.
Just think about how the old Kakashi looked compared to this one. It is such a huge difference. Like, that old Kakashi really looks like trash compared to this one. And I mean, it's an older figure, so of course it's going to be outdated. But they did so much better with the hair and everything with this one. So yeah, these two figures definitely deserve that number 3 spot on this list. And since we're continuing now, let's go on to number 2. Starblast Yumi. I guess we'll do this one again as well. So, continuing with the Naruto line, we figured once again
bunch of Naruto fanboys. I swear to God.
listen. It's not our fault just how well they did this Naruto line. Like, they're doing this line so much better than how they originally did.
They really are. Like, this is probably one of their better lines currently, but we put another 2 figures together on it, and it's the SH Figure Arts Kid Naruto and Kid Sasuke. So we wanted to put them both together because I feel like they're both pretty much just as equal. Sasuke is a little more expensive, but Naruto is that $35 price tag, so you can army build the Shadow Clone Jutsu as well. And these two are just such fun figures. When I got them and reviewed them and just posed them, I couldn't stop posing them because of all the different display and posing options you get with them. And that to me is what makes an action figure, just like with the Orochimaru and Kakashi.
Absolutely. And like the fact that Naruto comes with, like, he's $35. He comes with the Rasengan, he comes with the kunai, he comes with the alternate hands and like the facial expression to give him, like, you know, the 9-tailed fox sort of mode. Not like the crazy one, but like, you know, the one that we saw at the beginning of the show with the red eyes, which I think really adds like more to that sort of wrathful thing that we get to see Naruto. And it's one of the reasons why I really like the adult, you know, Naruto as well. But he came out in 2022, I think, so that's why he didn't end up on this year's list. But like, a lot of the reasons why I like that original Naruto, if we had done a list like last year, I'm sure he would have been on this list. But since we're doing like something like that, it's like this Kid Naruto figure should not be slept on. I did kind of sleep on it for like a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. To be honest, I'm shocked that he even got this far on the list. But it's like just how good the articulation is, the accessories that you get for $35. I think really it just comes down to the fact that, you know, not as many people are gonna like Kid Naruto. I think, Sean, you even said that you hate Kid Naruto.
No, I just don't like Naruto in general as a character.
Okay, yeah, you don't even like Naruto,
so
but
I'm not being biased.
The fact that this figure, the fact that this figure, the fact that this figure and Sasuke managed to get this high on the list really speaks volumes to the overall figure that we got here. And listen, people are gonna compare characters, and I get it. I love the characters, but we're talking about figures here. We're talking about the materials made out of plastic, and that's why not the Kakashi, sorry. That's why in particular, I forgot I was still holding on to him.
Not 3.
He's so good that you forget that you're playing with him.
We're talking about the figure, and it's like, just like, and then you also got Sasuke too as well, like the Sharingan face, the Chidori. He gets like the big special, like not kunai,
the
like
big shuriken,
shuriken, the wind shuriken, and then the fireball jutsu, like with the Chidori. Like, my gosh, that figure is just absolutely stacked. Really, the only reason why he ends up getting paired with Naruto is because he's included with more accessories, but because this is also balanced out with the fact that he's a little bit more expensive. Like him being a little bit more expensive justifies that price range, and so that's why they end up meeting in the middle, and they end up taking up the number 2 spot for this list.
And if you also get Orochimaru, you get that extra faceplate with the curse mark on Sasuke that you could use on the Kid Sasuke too. But yeah, we they were like equally just as good figures to me. I like Naruto a little bit better, but Kid Sasuke shouldn't be slept on either. It's such a great figure, and like we were saying, we're not judging by the characters. We're judging by the action figure, and they're great. All right.
Okay.
They're
now,
great.
as for number 1, I'm gonna let you guys take it from here. I don't have this figure yet. This has been a very controversial figure.
Yeah.
So you guys go ahead and do your job. Yeah.
Alrighty. And Champ knows about it too.
Oh yeah, I guess that would make it.
Yeah.
This figure is a little bit controversial for some reasons, but the number one spot goes to the SH Figure Arts legendary Super Saiyan Goku. This figure has a lot of good going for it, but the main complaint people have with it is the discolored torso. Now, it depends on the lighting, but right now, it doesn't look that bad. I can't even notice it. But besides the discolored torso, that's really it. Everything else on this figure is pretty much top-notch. My only other complaint is I wish the bruise details had actual markings rather than just leaving them plain plastic. That, like, you were able to get it on the event-exclusive Super Saiyan Goku, but you couldn't do it on here. Yeah, you couldn't do it on...
What the hell?
yeah, you couldn't do it on here, so what the heck? That's another main complaint.
Is it so hard for Tamashii to make a bloody Goku?
I mean, here, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it as another event exclusive, because that's the only time where they're actually gonna really put effort into paint apps.
Yeah, but Heish, what Vinny was just saying, or what Super Mariozilla was saying, like all the cuts and scrapes, like they didn't add in like a darker shade of paint. Like
no, I agree with you there.
I
know. I agree with you that it should be there. I'm just saying the reason why it's not is just because it's like this
I thought you were talking
Tamashii.
about the bloody version that
You're not gonna like they're gonna
yeah.
like Tamashii Nation is not going to put that much detail into a regular release figure. They're going to want to make like scratches and bloody mark stuff for the event exclusives because that's the thing that's gonna draw in people for the appeal for those types of figures. And you know, at the very least, I understand that some people want that, but I also feel like, you know, if it does, because of the fact that it doesn't have that, it also still kind of works as like its own, you know, shirtless Goku. If you're able to pair the demonical fit base Goku head and put it on there, you end up with a shirt. He doesn't have to be battle damaged all the time in that regard.
Yeah.
So
some people did do that with the demonical fit 3.0 Goku head sculpt they put on this.
They made like a buff Kaioken Saiyan Saga Goku.
Yeah, this figure is just absolutely, seems to be fantastic. I'm still waiting to get mine. One of my friends is sending it over to me. But it's like it's just from everything that I've seen, it's popular for a reason. I love the alternate hairs that you can get on there. It's just such a unique thing that I'm really glad that Tamashii Nation is doing more of. It really feels like, you know, despite the fact that this had factory issues, that like they really did put a lot of care into trying, you know, to put this the alternate torso. The thing with the torso is really just a shame how it came out, but it looks great. The only other complaint that I've had is that I've seen people complain about is really just the anatomy, just like the fact that, you know, once it gets to the legs, it really gets bulky at the top of the legs, and that shouldn't. That just, I get why people say it doesn't look right, but it personally doesn't really bother me as much when I see photos of it, as all of the articulation, the posability and such. Really, I think is what seemed to carry this Goku into the top of the list here.
Super Mario,
articulation.
I gotta ask you go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was about to say, like, going to Starblast's point, articulation is definitely one of the main factors this figure makes it on this list. Articulation,
super fun to pose around.
It is fantastic. Like, there's a lot of fun factor with this figure when it comes to articulation, and especially in conjunction with the accessories. And it's always a highlight to get. It's always a highlight to get beam effects with these figures. Like, I'm so glad they included a Kamehameha.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anyway, I apologize, Champ. Go right ahead.
No, you're good. I interrupted you. You're a guest, and I'm being disrespectful.
I'm a terrible
co-host. Shame on me. But no, I was just gonna ask you: do you think that with the new Goku, do you think it makes this one obsolete? Sean, don't answer because I know what you said in the video, and I'm so mad that you said that.
It's still a good figure.
I'll be honest. Both figures have their pros and have their cons. To be honest, that figure can still be kept in the collection simply because it still has half of the shirt. But this figure is completely shirtless. So you can technically count it as two different designs.
To me, this is like the 3.0 version of that Awakened Warrior Goku. That's why I said that in my review pretty much. You
said it made it look like poop. How dare you? You compared it to Keisha's favorite figure, the Super Saiyan Dookie. How dare you?
No.
I'm sorry. You did
I'm
what?
not saying it was. I'm just saying that's.
I didn't
what
watch.
It
I
makes
need to watch
it
this man's
seem
review.
like.
Oh my
He
god.
said it
That's
made it
what
look like
makes
poop.
it seem like. Well, because they did such an exceptional job on this figure, and they were trying to really one up that figure with this one to make this their new Awakened Warrior Goku, which they definitely accomplished. But that Awakened Warrior Goku is still a great figure, always will be. That's when they went into the 2.0 body mold, and I feel like this is them transitioning into the 3.0 body mold, which I hope. But it's just so much better than that figure. And once you guys get it, you're going to understand what I mean. I wasn't saying that it is the Awakened Warrior Goku's
He
a
just
bad
had a poor
figure.
choice of words.
No, it's just like, when you get... Like, I had the Dragon Stars
If I get a
right?
NeoPixel, it's gonna make my other lightsaber that is still somewhat good look like shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not bad. It's still goddamn fruit fly. But it's like he's gonna spit on what's going on.
I'm too proud to spit on my laptop, I swear to God.
Like an example, I had the Dragon Stars 5th form cooler, right? And the Figure Arts one literally just released, and I'm like, yeah, this Dragon Stars one isn't bad for the price. Then when I got the Figure Arts one, I threw that Dragon Stars one out in the garbage.
Right,
but it's not that bad. That was really bad.
I see what you mean now. Yeah, from that.
Yeah, it was just like a figure of
I
speech.
see.
Yeah. It wasn't me saying that figure's trash.
You
I'm
better
just
not
saying
throw
it's
that Awakening
so
Goku
good.
figure in the trash. We're about to have a serious problem.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's so good that it makes that figure look bad, but it's not a bad figure. It's just this one they executed so well, and they really, like, when I think of an action figure, I want three main things to be on point: the detail, the articulation, and accessories, which is what most collectors do look at when it comes to an action figure. If all those three things are on point, you're gonna have a super fun figure, and they really pretty much hit the nail on the head pretty much with every aspect of that to this action figure. Like we were saying, this upper torso piece is slightly off color, which, I mean, if you have it in lighting and you do toy photography, you will notice it. Another thing was the cuts and scrapes. It's something minor, but it's really not that big of a deal. But if you pull it away, you don't notice it. So that's the only thing with that, with the cuts or the tears and stuff like that. But besides that, everything else is so fun on the figure. Like, when I got it, I did not expect to like it as much as I did. To me personally, a lot of people think it's figure of the year. I don't think it is, but it's definitely the best Dragon Ball figure I feel like that they made this year. That's my personal opinion, though. But a lot of people are saying it's figure of the year and this and that. It definitely deserves to be on like the top 3 of 2023 because it was very well executed. Yeah. Damn, Champ took that like metaphor I said.
I took that personally like an actual Dragon Ball fan.
And I took that person.
You son of a bitch.
I will say,
You bastard.
yeah, you know what? In terms of like, if we were to, I feel like we definitely like later down the line should make a video, like maybe on my channel. Hopefully, we'll end up doing a video because this is tradition. Every single year, do a video like ranking all of the Dragon Ball figures. Figure arts that came out this year. Maybe this time around we'll actually include Kong and Demonical Fit, but I don't know if I'm gonna go that far. We'll end up seeing.
That would be a very good, interesting video ranking just every Dragon Ball figure from the third party to Figure Arts. Is what you're saying?
Well, no, that came out in 2023.
Oh yeah, we could do an episode
Which
on
would
that.
be an interesting list because
there
there was a lot of bangers from both Beast Deities or Kong Studios and Demonical Fit.
But it won't be a
And
PPP episode. It'll be like an actual video that Champ will edit and make look high quality and such.
Why are you already signing me out?
Because I have you edited. I have you
Champ is the
edited every
editor.
single year.
Oh yeah,
2
you
years
did it
back to
last
back,
year.
bro.
Yeah, there
Okay,
you go.
sure.
That's why you're gonna come back for it. If I plan to, if you're down. Anyways,
All right.
So before we end up, we actually have one more list. Not in any order,
stay
but we
till
will
the
go
end.
over the worst or the most disappointing figures of 2023. We have a lot to go over here. I don't even like. You guys have a whole list over here. And
Wait,
I'm just
where
gonna
is
let
that
someone
list?
take over right now because this is like a bunch of these figures I don't even
Let
have.
Oh, there they are.
let Vinny
I
go. Let him go. Talk about
Vinny,
his,
Yeah.
my
Godzilla.
man, take over.
Okay, so
For
one
five.
before I go into the most disappointing figure on this list for me, for me
Ooh, I
anyway.
agree with this one. I agree if this is the one you're pulling out. Does it have a motorcycle?
Yep,
Yes,
Mezco
I
Ghost
agree.
Rider is
Trash.
is garbage.
Straight up out the dumpster. They
Garbage.
dropped the ball. Yeah, go ahead,
They
Vinny.
did.
Sorry.
For first of all, let me just say that the ankle articulation is piss poor, and
Oh, God, you're
the
telling
light up
me.
feature is also piss poor. Barely lights up on the head and on the motorcycle. Overpriced as hell, $240 something
Oh, yeah.
dollars.
Yep.
Ridiculous. He can't even
like gave us a big FU. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a giant middle finger. And another big middle finger is he can't sit in the motorcycle properly.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he looks like a complete dumbass because of the fact he's constantly looking downward. His head articulation is only on a swivel, so he can't look up at all while sitting on the motorcycle. That's a big
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I got it, I did like the detail, but then when I started articulating it, I'm like, what the is this? It has such horrible articulation. Like, it's like, why make it an action figure? You guys just literally dropped the ball big time.
It has
On the neck, that's a big point of articulation. You know what I mean? Ankles, another big point of articulation. And Mezco does struggle a lot with articulation. They just keep using the same goddamn body mold, which is why I don't collect them really anymore.
Yeah.
After that Ghost Rider, I'm like, you know what? Screw these guys. They're and they don't really focus on like Marvel and DC and all that stuff as much anymore. They're focusing more on their own stuff, which I understand.
I feel like
Gomez
nowadays,
and
like when
stuff.
you look, I'm sorry, Mario, go ahead.
I was about to say, yeah, they're more so focusing on Gomez or shit like that.
Like their
think-
own comic that they're
yeah.
doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Their own characters, yeah.
It just really seems like when it comes to Mezco, it's like they don't really put enough consideration into the collectors that purchase their figures. Like every single time you want, there's like this hype Mezco figure that's out. I always see people trying to get this figure, and it's like it sells out. It's basically like premium Bandai, but on drugs.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
like
they're
instantly.
hardcore Mezco collectors out there, really hardcore.
And then
but-
instantly the figure that they want would end up going like super duper high up in price. It's like it's basically a scalper's paradise.
Yep, yep.
And
You
so-
could see some of the prices of some of their figures there in the thousands.
Yeah,
And
and
it's ridiculous.
The fact that like they're making the exact same body mold, you're barely getting as much articulation out of your
Yeah.
figures that you really need. It just they're not they're not putting in the mindset of an actual action figure company. It's just like we got this one thing that works, people buy it, let's just keep repeating it. It's like it's a money making machine for them.
Go ahead, Benny.
The community ruined like collecting Mezco Gomez figures for me. The amount of times I would try to hunt down something for a deal, I just get bullied on the Facebook groups. I got bullied on the Facebook groups.
Oh,
It was not
man.
even funny, man.
Damn.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the figure community can be pretty brutal in general, but yeah,
I
when
know.
you go in specific figure brand groups that people make, like a Mezco one, people can be brutal on there, and
I know.
Like when someone loves a figure company that much, I understand, man. You love their stuff, but you know what? Not everybody's gonna love that, and I feel like Mezco is taking advantage of that because they know people are gonna buy whatever they spit out. You know what I mean? They're just gonna be like, "Take my money, take my money." There's figures I'm like with that too. Like, take my money. That's my favorite character, but they're really. Like you don't see them really jump into too much stuff now. And they're so bad with releasing stuff when they say it's going to be released. It's like 3 years later. Look at Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
That came out literally what 3 years after the goddamn release date. That pisses people off. You don't even update them when you think it's going to be released, which is another annoying thing with them. And like what I said and Starblast said, they like refuse to update their body mold. Like work on better articulation with your figures. Yeah, the cloth clothing is so well executed on a 112 figure most of the time, but that Ghost Rider was a big smack in the face to figure collectors and Ghost Rider fans. Like the sounds and light up feature was cool and all, but $200 for that whole set and you could barely move around Ghost Rider? You can't even sit him on the bike. You have to have him standing or something in front of the bike. It's like, what kind of a Ghost Rider figure
What's the point
is
of
that?
having a bike if you can't ride it?
It's going to be like another figure on this list in a way, which we'll
Okay.
get to later.
Okay.
But yeah, Ghost Rider, I totally forgot he released. He definitely deserved to be on that most disappointing or worst figures of this
Champ,
year.
I'm gonna let you go over this list like the Star Wars Black Series figure.
Actually,
Yes.
do you one better. I'll go over two figures real quick.
Oh,
Bet.
So the Black Series Bastilla that came out this year from it's part of the Gaming Greats. Got this at GameStop. It was
was there more
based
of a
on the Knights of
gaming
the
worst?
Oh, snap Vinny's camera.
Oh man, that should smack Vinny's camera.
It just snapped Vinny's camera to the side.
It's like, yeah, right, it is.
She used the force to smack it around.
Damn you, Ghost Rider! Ghost Rider cursed it. Oh god.
But honestly, this just this, as a Star Wars fan, I love this character Bastila from the Knights of the Republic game. Unfortunately, the reason I just don't like this so much is because one, she has a hard time holding it. Is her lightsaber. Right now, she's holding it okay.
Star Killer's like that too. He can't hold his goddamn
I can already
lightsaber.
tell from that figure you don't get double jointed elbows, so it's hard to get her
No,
into
you
those
do not.
poses and such,
And
holding
she
her
doesn't
lightsaber
really.
properly.
She doesn't have
Yeah.
the Black Widow ab crunch or anything. So that's as far as she can go down.
And you know what? They've been adding double jointed elbows on their Star Wars woman figures lately too. So it's like, why not put it on?
Yeah. It's
You
like
know?
it almost feels like a McFarlane toy where the sculpt is really nice. I like the lightsaber, hilt. It really does look like Bastila. But the problem is the articulation. It just sucks really bad. Speaking of McFarlane, so I am
Let's
probably
jump
one of the
into
few
it.
guys here that collects that in this group. But
And
the
you're a big
McFarlane-
fan of this character, really big fan of this character. So this shows a lot.
yeah, the McFarlane Hush Superman. Is that what you're talking? Yeah, so the McFarlane Hush Superman, that was they just had a re-release of that actually. I think it's actually like a variant or whatever. But I like Superman. He was one of my favorite childhood heroes growing up. But the problem with McFarlane, he keeps doing Superman dirty. Right now he gives him this weird low head on it. His head rests really low on his neck. Like he almost looks like Goku on that body, to be honest, but worse.
Oh,
And
shots
the
fired.
cape's always blown in some way, and his skin is very, very pale. Like he doesn't go out in the sun, which makes
Like he looks
makes any sense.
comatose.
He looks albino. That's what he looks like. Full on Caucasian
There's my
from the
beast
mountains of
going.
Caucasus.
He looks like a Kazo skin tone. Well, Kazo's
Yeah,
more
basically.
like a lime light
Honestly,
green or something.
McFarlane needs to do these Superman figures better because he loves to do Batman. But
Yeah.
so, also talking about superheroes, and
I
know I'm going
literally
through
think
these
he just
quickly.
shit out sometimes, to tell you the truth. Like squats
Um,
over and it's like, here you
prob-
go, sculpts it out of
probably.
his shit.
Probably, but
Wow,
speaking
I'm gonna
of
get a lot of hate for that.
superheroes, Jesus. But speaking of
it's
superheroes, I
here
know
and there he does that. Like, he
Bang it,
doesn't
John.
give a shit sometimes. He really does not give a shit sometimes, and it's just money grabs for him. It's like, bro, I understand you doing that sometimes, but come on, put a little more thought and concentration into some of your things. Even your own people who work for you tell you what collectors want, and you pretty much spit in their and ours face saying what we want. And it's like, come on, man. Like, get with the program, dude.
It looks like he's been releasing some newer type of videos. I mean, not videos, but figures, because they have a new
Yeah.
Wonder Woman coming out, and it looks pretty good. But anyway, something that me and Heesh can kind of talk about is the Spider-Man No Way Home 3-pack. He had the 3-pack, but I had the re-releases with the variant heads or the unmasked heads. The problem with these figures is that, well, Heesh, you got the 3-pack. You know about that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay. So this
Uh-oh.
originally when I got the 3-pack, like to be like I was like I haven't like I need to put in a little bit of context here because the thing that I know people are going to be holding me accountable to is my review of it. So the reason as to why like I talked about them in high regard, I haven't collected Marvel Legends in a very long time before doing that video. And so my impression and such of Marvel Legends and how it has changed and such, like I saw, like I was kind of comparing it to like other Marvel Legends I had gotten. I didn't really have as much experience with like the other with like really the other Marvel Legends. And so this is kind of like my knowledge of it was more so like, 2019, 2018 sort of basis and such. And even though I understood that the Marvel Legends Spider-Man was still lacking in the, in some of the in a bunch of the accessory department overall, like I still felt that, like, for the most part, because of like the standard that I'm aware of that Marvel Legends has right now, it just like it made when I realized that it's like I should have known better at this point that really they're just not even up to the newer standard that Marvel Legends would typically have. And it's like these figures just they don't hold up, especially with the newer releases of like the re-releases of them with the alternate heads and such like that. It really gives you even less of a reason to go ahead and purchase them. Like, sure, yeah, now I like it's Marvel Legends and it's objectively good pricing and such in comparison to the figure arts, but it's like everything that it's really not even meeting up to par, I think, with everything else that it really should have for a Marvel Legends. And I think one of the big things that I somewhat regret in the video was that I praised the webbing and such for the Tobey Maguire figure. Now I did originally like that, like the webbing, and it was because like I saw so many different things about it, and it really just I think like conflicted my own opinion. But now it's just like I'm just sort of I'm on the hate train for it now. I can't seem to get myself to like it anymore. If it's gonna be dependent on the lighting and it already looks strange and such in the first place, I gave it way too much benefit of the doubt. It really just does not hold up. And that's why the figure, because the 3-pack, because of the pricing, because of the lack of accessories, because of all of the other problems and such too that you end up having with the figures and such, and the price point that Marvel Legends has, it just screw this set, man. It pisses me off. At this point,
it marinated with you, and you realize, like, you know what?
Yeah,
F this shit.
I really did not think that would be the case with me because I already have the figure arts. If I have the figure arts, I'm thinking, all right, I already got everything I want right here. If I'm looking at Marvel Legends, I'm not looking at them with the eye of a Marvel Legends collector. I'm looking at it with the eye of a figure arts collector who's looking at it already like, cheaper alternative and such to getting that. And so that's why it didn't really just settle just how bad this set was. And that's what I really wish I would have given more consideration when doing that video.
Yeah, a lot of people were unhappy with that set. Sorry, Chad.
They didn't even change any. No, you got. They didn't
just
change
getting you back.
With the re-release other than just the unmasked heads, and like looking at the Tobey Maguire one, it's just like, bruh, like the SH figure arts is just so much better. Just get that if you want Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
And honestly, it's not worth it. If you do want to get the Andrew Garfield one, now he's available. I mean, it's ridiculous that Hasbro pulled this stunt where you have to spend over $100 to get that, and then they just re-release it, and then they just cut accessories like alternate hands. So it's just I don't have the 3-pack. I bought the individual ones, but
you don't even get
Heish's pain.
You don't even get a pair of each hand. They're like, here's
no,
one
you
of that
don't.
left
You just
hand,
get
one of it right hand.
Yeah, you get two.
You get a better set of hands with a 3-pack that costs more than as opposed to like the other one, which is like they've given you a proper amount of hands with all the other stuff, but then it still goes into the same problem when it comes to Hasbro, is that they can get away with all of this bullshit when they don't have like because of the fact that it's a Spider-Man figure and people are gonna buy it anyways.
Well, look at Starkiller. They did the 3-pack again, and out of all those accessories, you couldn't throw one or two in with the individually released one that they're coming out with. Like, come on, you could have gave them like another set of hands or two, or one of the extra head sculpts as well.
One of the blue sabers.
Like, oh, here's just one lightsaber, and that's all you're getting with them. It's like, come on, you guys up the prices. You can't throw in a couple extra accessories, and that is something I hate about Black Series. Great, you give us a lightsaber, but come on, give me like a force push hand with them or something. Don't give me a trigger finger hand. Like, what are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the hand that stays on the figures.
That's the Darth Vader choking pose. You see, so everyone does this when they choke you.
You gotta talk like this, like Chud. I'm his best friend, but no, but yeah, it's just like, come on, give collectors more options to play around with their figures. You don't want you just have the hands that are on the figure and then the lightsaber. Like, great, you gave us a lightsaber. Get like a force push hand with it as well, or a fist hand or something. You know what I mean? So that's
But
something
I don't.
that collectors understand with Hasbro. They pull this BS with the Spider-Man figures, Star Killer, so Black Series, Marvel Legends. It's going all around.
There is one line of figures I'm gonna say is the most disappointing right now, but we're gonna
Oh, God.
before we get into that, we're gonna go over one more, and that is the SH Figure Arts Zorro. Sean, you know the most about this, so I'm gonna let you take over for this.
Oh, we went over most of the stuff already?
Didn't we go over? Hold on, SH Figure Arts Zorro.
No, we forgot SH Monster Arts.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't going at the list in order. I'm just going like at random. Random
okay.
things.
So, all right. So for Zorro here, to me, he definitely is like the second worst figure of 2023. Detail's fine. They did that stupid rubber piece for the upper portion of his robe, so you could barely use his torso articulation. So it's
Orange
like, why
cat.
do that? Why not just do it in cuts? His arms fall off. The one big main thing is the lower portion of his robe. You can't freaking articulate his legs. Like, come on, man. You're talking about articulated figures. The articulation's there, but you use such a stupid piece of plastic, you can't do anything with the legs. So a lot of people are replacing that with a cloth wired piece, and it makes the figure so much better. But another thing with that lower robe piece is every time you'd move the waist, it'd pop off. And it's like, really? Like, so you can't even really use the waist articulation unless you just want to keep playing the pop back on game, you know? So he's just a frustrating figure, and he's not fun to pose around unless you buy separate pieces from customizers. Then
Like
he's
you.
a bit more fun of a figure. Yeah. It's just sad that he's one of the most popular anime characters and one of the biggest fan favorite characters, and number 2 in the One Piece polls, and you just dropped the ball big time on someone like frickin' Rowan Noah. Freaking Zorro. Come on, Tamashi Nation. So yeah, this was such a
For
huge
shame.
disappointment. Yeah, so many collectors were just so upset and pissed off about this, and I don't blame them. So hopefully with the East Blue version, pre-time skip, they kill it and learn their goddamn lesson.
Let's go ahead. Let's try to speed through the rest, the rest of these.
Yeah,
we're almost out of time here. What's the ones that we
If
missed?
anything, we could break it up into
The
2. But
Godzilla one.
Oh yeah, okay. SH Monster Arts Godzilla. Vinny, you got this, bro.
go ahead,
The SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019 Night Color version Tamashi Nation store exclusive is by far the worst SH Monster Arts figure to date.
Whoa.
From the movie, right?
This thing was already held up to a higher standard because of the exclusivity status. I expected some level of greatness compared to their Kong event exclusive, for example. This figure is complete garbage. It barely has colors to make it resemble nighttime. There's blue that you could barely make out. The teeth
you
paint
can
job,
barely see it.
The teeth paint job is as comparable to a sloppy Joe.
Is the teeth paint job worse than the Colgate teeth version? You know what I'm talking about,
I'd
right?
say it's a little. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, and I'd say it's a little bit worse. It's not much better. It's not much better.
Nope.
The
Okay.
eyes are barely distinguishable. I don't even think mine even has pupils. Yeah, that's what it looks like. The articulation has not been updated from 2019 at all. In fact, I think this version may be a little bit worse. It feels a little stiffer. Something about it just feels off. I don't know what it is. It just feels off compared to 2019 and the 2021 version. This figure is complete.
And I like that Godzilla too. That version of Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that figure too. This figure is complete ass. Proved to be worse than Shin Godzilla and a Mothra special color version 2-pack.
Mm-hmm.
And this was $70. This figure should have been $50. All right, this figure should have been $50. This was $75.
Was it a store exclusive?
Yeah, it's Tamashi store exclusive, like Kid Goku.
All right.
Yeah, it was a
all right.
Tamashi store exclusive. So this was held up to a higher standard because of that exclusivity status. This is
Yeah.
not
Well,
a general release.
All
they
right.
better
Jeez.
fix it with the Godzilla Kong movie coming up. They
Oh
better
yeah,
fix
they
it with the
better.
pink one.
All
Oh
right.
yeah,
Next
they
up,
better. Godzilla Evolved. I think that's the name of that version.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I could do these last two together.
well, next
Okay.
up, McFarlane Hush. Hold on, did we talk about McFarlane Hush?
No,
Yeah, we
Or
already
no?
Champ
talked
already
about
did
that.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
the last
That was
two.
already talked about.
All right, yes, Sean. I want you to go ham on this one. These deserve
Time
it.
for some
ham.
berserk. Go
And I'm
berserk.
talking about the ham from that you had from Christmas.
What?
I
Well,
no.
everybody usually
I don't
eats
have
ham
ham.
for like ham for dinner on Christmas, you know.
Not me, bro. I don't even celebrate Christmas, bro.
Well, you know what? Some people will relate to it. You guys were like, "No,
Not.
Sean,
You should
no."
only have turkey.
All right, so
Anyway.
all right, so right here we got a double doser. And this is from a new line from Nation's SH Figure Arts, their Berserk line. So right here we have the worst figure of and most disappointing figure of 2023. That's Guts, and following right behind him is his BFF Griffith. So Griffith here was not as frustrating as Guts was, but he still has that similar frustration. But like I said, nowhere near as bad as Guts. The one thing that really brings this figure down is they like included his horse with it, and you're like, yeah, this horse is probably gonna have articulation. And no, it's a pre-posed piece of shit. All right, just it's just like you guys couldn't even add in like neck articulation at all, so he could look left and right. He's just that's it, you know. And it's like one of the things you see on people's lawns as you drive by their house,
Mhm.
like a statue. And it's like, why bother? Why bother even giving collectors who collect articulated figure lines a goddamn statue of a freaking horse for a character? You should have just made the figure itself, because it upped the price of the figure by what, like $50? It's not worth 50
This
bucks.
is one thing that Figma has actually done when it came to. There's one comparison, that is the Erwin Smith from Attack on Titan. They actually made the horse articulated and such. You can actually get like Erwin riding the horse, and like the horse on its back on its back legs, and doing the horse pose in the, I don't know what you call
And
that for some reason.
you can even buy the horses themselves. You can get the, I think, black one or the white horse, and you could buy either one or both of them.
The
So
fact
it's
that
like,
that was a thing that brought the figure up to $50 and wasn't even like an articulated thing, like no, it's just that should have just at that point I'd rather just get Griffith on his own.
Exactly.
In that case,
Yeah, it was pointless doing that, and there's no shading
like
on it
Bulma,
at all.
like Bulma and her
Bike.
that type of thing. Like you can just they make the bike into a
Bulma and her
separate
bike.
Make it the bike into it. They make the horse into a separate thing. Actually, have it have articulation and such, and then have Griffith with his own thing. And it's like I get it.
Yeah, which is what
something about
Figma
this
and Max
line.
Factory did.
Here's the weird thing is that something about this line, I don't know why, it probably has something to do with the license. They really make a lot of these Berserk figures even more expensive than I feel like they should be valued at. Like they're more expensive than Naruto, like Dragon Ball, One Piece, even the most recent Demon Slayer line. Why are these Berserk figures so damn
Expensive.
And
I don't get
and it's like they're over engineering them too, and making them extremely frustrating. Whatever team's working on them, get them the F off, because Berserk has been screwed over. It's real though. Berserk has been screwed over so many times when it comes to animation, figures. Now it's like, come on, somebody do this right. Don't worry, I'll bleep.
I
bleep
think
that out.
I think here's the thing is that like I know that the Figma one is outdated, but the fact that the Figma one is even more of like it's really a actual bearable figure in comparison to this speaks for the fact that Figure Arts is having problems. They've been taking so many dubs from Figma with its Chainsaw Man line, with its Jujutsu Kaisen line, with its seemingly with its Demon Slayer line that it's going to be doing here pretty soon as well. Like
Figma's Berserk figures are 7-8 years old now from
the
when they
fact
first released
that
them.
these the figures that are like 8 years old are probably better than the most recent ones from Figure Arts, who has set such a high standard for its company over the years. It's embarrassing. So many people have had their
And we're
Guts
not
figure
even on the
completely fall
worst
apart.
one yet. We're not even on the worst one yet. We're
Yeah.
talking about the second worst out of the bunch. Now, left that damn horse. And F you to Machinations for giving us that crap. So the worst figure here, most frustrating
It's literally
figure I have ever... The worst figure I have ever tried to pose around that it's so freaking frustrating is Guts. And I know everybody agrees with it. I had a break on mine on both ankles right off the bat when I opened it and articulated it. It snapped like a goddamn toothpick. That's how thin the joints were on the ankles. How did they snap off that easily? And a lot of people are experiencing breaks with Guts, but that's not the biggest issue. And that right there is saying a lot. It's such an annoying figure. Whenever you try to pose it, parts just pop off all the time. The stuff that's connected with ball pegs, the pouches, even the armor popping off on people. And it's such a horribly made figure. And like I said with Griffith, it was over-engineered the way they made it. There's too many complications to it, and it's just not a fun figure, and collectors don't want that. Like Amazing Yamaguchi, they are a bit more complicated with articulation, but if you know how to articulate figures, it's fine. With this Guts, the articulation isn't even that great. You can't even get his legs out 45 degrees, and that's saying a lot. Like, what?
There's one. Okay, moving forward, because of just how severely bad this is, there's only one method I can think of where Tamashii Nations can redeem themselves. Give us $35 Guts and Griffiths with less accessories, because even then, the people that you screwed over with this release, they can at least, if they bought that, can get the accessories from the previous Guts and Griffith figures and use it for those newer with those newer ones to make sure that they're to just kind of have like
they
a
need
more
to fix
sort of
the wrist joints too.
Yeah, because then it's like you redeem. I think by that point you redeem the horrible atrocity that you made, the mistakes that you made when producing those figures, while also number two, allowing for more people to purchase the Guts, like the Guts and Griffiths figures for a better price point, ending up with better sales. I think maybe that's not even possible considering that these figures prices are so high. I think it's mostly a licensing problem really at this point, because again, it's like
probably is part of that.
Like
yeah.
It might even be too much to be asking for them to be putting these figures at a $35 price point, considering their Guts is at $100. So I don't.
Oh yeah. Another thing, you can't even holster his sword. Figma, you could.
Are you kidding me?
So
I have
either he's
Figma
holding
on
it
my
or
desk
not.
with his sword holstered.
And like, why didn't they just do something like that? And then with the wrist joints, I was saying, they always fall off because they're just straight pegs. It's not like it doesn't have that little.
Well, the
extra
reissue
layer
is
of
better,
plastic
but
that
yeah.
pops it in. It's so annoying because his hands just fall off all the time, and it's the most annoying figure I've ever dealt with, and it definitely deserves to be the worst goddamn figure of this year, hands down.
Absolute, hands down.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, hands down.
Anyways, I think that all right, guys. I think that we've been at an hour 20 minutes now. This has been a very good video. I think most people let us know your list for the best, worst, honorable mentions, figures that you think deserve to be more recognized down in the comment section down below. Again, there were so many lines this year, and I really love everything, all the figures that we got. It's just a shame that we couldn't give more figures the spotlight that I think that they deserved, because all of these different figure companies really did a lot of great stuff this year. And I'm really curious to see what you guys thinking. With that being said,
thank you, Super Mariozilla, for coming onto the podcast.
Mariozilla, my
Super
man.
Mariozilla.
Yeah,
no problem. I'm always happy to come on
you're,
here.
You're no legit, man. Your insights to what you provided with a bunch of these figures on this list was really, really helpful, considering all the stuff that you have and how well and diverse into collecting that you are. We're really genuinely happy to have you, and I hope to have you for another episode in the future. Something like that.
By all means, you need me for another episode, give me a call.
You bet, man. Will do. All right. With that being said, guys, we'll see you guys in the comment section. Till then, take care.
Till then, Kamehameha. Thanks for listening to our podcast episode.
If you're on YouTube and have watched the video,
then thank you for watching as well. We are your hosts,
Starblast Studios,
Champ Animation,
and me, Daredevil 19.
And if you enjoyed our episode on Spotify, be sure to give us a follow and rating.
You can also leave us a comment on Spotify in the Q&A.
And we do thank you if you do. And if you did watch this on YouTube, be sure to give us a like if you liked it and a subscribe-a-roo if you enjoyed it. And we will catch you on the next episode of the Plastic Power Podcast.